Here's strip retail. It's one shop deep and miles long. You're not supposed to walk from one shop to the next. You're supposed to drive. Each shop has its own parking lot, usually in front. You drive in, you park, you get what you want, and you drive out to the next errand. That's the way the world works, you tell yourself. That's normal. What's wrong with it? Let's take a closer look at rampant strip highway development in Oregon's smaller communities. How damaging is highway strip retail? How does it ruin communities? How does it waste precious tax dollars? Does it cause traffic injuries and deaths? Does it cause congestion? Does it spoil the experience of traveling on Oregon's highways? Let's look at 3 communities in the heart of Oregon that have developed in very different ways. 2 of them, Bend and Redmond, are normal in the sense that they're characterized by rampant commercial highway strip development. The 3rd, Sisters, is abnormal by today's standards. It still has the compact business district we associate with a traditional small town. In Redmond, the business district is a 5-mile-long strip. In Bend, it's a 15-mile-long strip. Sisters Main Street is 1 mile long and 3 blocks deep. The experience of shopping in Sisters is dramatically different from Bend and Redmond. In Sisters, customers park along the curb, not in gigantic parking lots, and they can easily walk from one shop to another. They can stop and talk to their neighbors. The public realm is pleasant. People value it. In Bend and Redmond, shoppers can only get from one store to another by car. They can't stop and talk to their neighbors because they're trapped in their cars on the highway. The public realm of the strip is unpleasant. You might even say downright depressing. And people don't value being in it. Remember, this is supposedly normal. On the strip, each individual business needs its own entrance and exit. Traffic engineers call this a curb cut. The trouble is that each curb cut behaves like an intersection. The cars pop out of the curb cuts into the traffic lanes, creating very dangerous conditions. It's no wonder that the accident and injury rates on commercial highway strips are much higher than on freeways. When we talk about congestion, the problem is not that there are too many people. We mean there are too many cars stuck in traffic on the strip. The normal solution, therefore, is a new bypass highway. The bitter truth is that the current congested, depressing strip highway in Bend is itself a 30-year-old bypass. Now Oregon taxpayers are being asked to pay $80 million to build a new bypass, to bypass the old bypass. By the way, Redmond also wants a new bypass. Is this reasonable behavior, or is this strip development gone crazy? Can't the folks in Bend and Redmond see that the nearby town of Sisters offers another solution, perhaps a better one, a traditional, walkable town center? Let's review the ways that rampant commercial strip development is damaging everyday life in Oregon. First, it wastes tax dollars. Widening existing highways and building new bypasses are enormously expensive, often as much as $2 million a mile. Building a bypass each generation is like throwing away your town's business district every 30 years. It's wasteful and crazy. Towns worth caring about are built to endure for more than one generation. Second, the highway strip experience is dismal and unsafe. Even with air conditioning and great stereo sound, few people really enjoy sitting in traffic. Plus, you never know when another car might pop through a curb cut while you're accelerating in the right-hand lane. Anyway, the strip doesn't compare to walking down a nice main street, seeing your friends and neighbors while shopping. Third, it's important to recognize that congestion means too many cars in one place, not too many people. It also means a lack of choice. The commercial highway strip makes driving virtually mandatory. When we see people walking on the strip, we assume that there's something wrong with them. They're off their medication or too poor to own a car. Fourth, Oregon's highways are known for their scenic beauty. The spectacular coast, the farms of the Willamette Valley, the wheat ranches of northeastern Oregon, the cattle ranches of central Oregon, and the rolling hills and rivers of southern Oregon all are treasures of our state. Put a strip mall and 3 burger huts in the picture, and we sense that something valuable has been lost. Fifth, when people say there's no sense of community where they live, they're not hallucinating. A highway strip is not the same thing as an authentic town. The fact that people will pay $40 a day to walk down Main Street in Disneyland ought to tell us something about what's increasingly missing back home. The town of Sisters is a good model for the state of Oregon. It's a real place worth caring about. If the commercial strips of Bend and Redmond were worthy of our affection, we wouldn't be talking about bypassing them. So we've counted the ways that highway strip development is damaging the souls of our towns. At first, we thought it would be neat to live in a drive-in world. Now, after 30 years, we're starting to feel a lot of negative consequences. Some people say the town of Sisters just got lucky. The federal government owned all the land on one side, and a private rancher owned the land on the other side. Sisters was hemmed in and had to develop in a traditional compact way. But we can decide to do for ourselves what luck did for Sisters. It may be as simple as creating edges beyond which strip development won't be tolerated. If we create these edges, we'll have compact, traditional town centers where we can mingle, shop, and worship, and build a better today for ourselves and a better tomorrow for our children. Think about it.